to pop up. Here we go. That is exciting. We are now live on Facebook. Da 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 da. And
Hi,
as
everyone.
always, I'm doing my verbal tap dance while I make sure we're live every place else. There we go. So I know our friends will straggle in as we go along, and I'm going to probably repeat myself a couple times just as people come in late and want to know what's going on. But some of you I know will show up here any minute, and those of you who've done this before, you know the drill. Noelle wants to know where you're from, so chime in and say where you're coming from. Usually we're from all over the country. South Carolina came in. Hi, Lisa. I was sure sorry I didn't get to meet you in person when I did my little tour down there, but I'm happy you're with us today. And we've got some bodies coming in with us on Instagram too. So thank you, y'all, for joining us. It's going to be very fun talking with Noelle Douglas about her adorable, oh, this book is so cute, her adorable book, The Christmas Crush. And we are going to get to that a little bit. We're going to get to know her a little first and talk about Christmas and all those good things. And she is very kindly going to do a giveaway for this book. So we are going to pick from those of you who are here with us, must be present to win, you know how that goes. And for my friends on Instagram, if you would like to have your name put in the hat, just message me, or however you want to work that. You on the Facebook page, just when we're doing the comments, say, oh yeah, I would like a copy. So who else have we got here? Carolyn came in from Illinois. Cindy is also here from Illinois. Hello, hello. Nancy made it from Wisconsin. And Palermo, Massachusetts. Hi, Anne-Marie. We have got Jo Marie coming from somewhere. Jo Marie, you're being very secretive. Maybe you're in hiding. I don't know. But anyway, we're glad you're here. And hi from California too. Yay. Watertown, Wisconsin. So this is fun. I just love it when you guys come in from all over the country, especially, and here's from Florida, especially for those of you who it's a little later than it is for us. We're just here, well, I am anyway, on the West Coast. So it's just a late afternoon, early evening, and you'll probably see Gerhardt way in the background at some point, putting our turkey in the oven to warm up. I cooked my Christmas turkey already, you guys. We are going to be traveling for Thanksgiving and away, and I don't like to be cooking the turkey on Christmas Day. So I pre-cook it, slice it up, put it in the freezer, and then I'll have to just haul it out on the platter. So I'm going to find out if Noelle does that kind of thing when we get to talking about cooking and recipes. But let's find out. Of course, now you know her book. You want to hold that up so they can see?
Yes, they do. Here is The Christmas Crush.
Isn't that so cute?
I love the cover.
I love it. It's just darling. It's so cute. And this is such a fun story. And for those of you who like the closed door romance, this is one of those. So you'll have sugar and spice, but not the kind of spice that makes you go, oh my goodness. So it will be fun spice. And so that's going to be cool. And Nebraska, hi, Terry. Thanks for joining us. Very cool to see you. And where am I? Okay, so first of all, I've got my notes here, you guys, because you know I forget everything if I don't have notes. So we want to get to know a little bit about Noelle. Noelle, is this your first book?
This is my debut. So I have written other books practicing leading up to this, but this is the first book that I have that's published.
That's exciting. You know, first books, first loves, first kisses. There's nothing like the first, so that is pretty exciting. And I hope you're enjoying the ride and enjoying getting a chance to talk about your book. So
yeah, I have fun. I've met so many nice people and get to connect with so many readers. It's been fantastic.
So you feel like it's being well received, hopefully?
I do. People have been so kind to me. I'm excited every time I get tagged on Instagram by someone who's read the book or a bookstore tells me that they stock it. I'm thrilled.
Very fun, very fun. I'll say a quick hi. We've got Patty who's come in from Tennessee, and Kathy McCabe. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Aren't you going to be glad that you all showed up? Because we are later going to draw a lucky winner to win a copy of this book that have her very first book. And we want to, of course, support Noelle. And we were just talking before we went live. The Christmas boat is crowded this year. There are so many Christmas books out there, which is a good thing for you readers because you have lots to choose from. But we're all kind of going, buy me, buy me, buy me. And I do want you to hopefully give Noelle a try because this being her first time, we want this first adventure with her book to be a good one. So you guys, I'm glad you're here. I see Vicki made it from Florida. Hi, Vicki. Very fun to have you here. And oh yes, Tebby says I love Christmas books. We're glad. I think that's why there are so many Christmas books now, because we all like those holiday reads, don't we? They're just fun. What
Yeah,
made you decide to write a Christmas book?
I love to read holiday romances. I read all different kinds. Like I read Holly Jolly Diwali. I've read Hanukkah romances. I just love a holiday season romance. And since I celebrate Christmas, that's what I focused on and had so much fun adding the holiday to a typical romance storyline.
Very cool. Well, tell us just a little bit about yourself, because we actually, Noelle and I, oh, I'm going to sneeze, here it comes. No, don't sneeze. Noelle and I pretty much kind of met through, there it
Bless
came.
you.
I'm allergic to myself.
No.
Anyway, we pretty much met, and her agent had reached out, her editor, to me and said, hey, do you want to read this book? And that was how we met. So this is our first time actually talking in person. So I'm getting to know her right along with you guys. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a mom of two little boys, Emmett, who's 7, and Archie, who's 3. They're out with my husband, their dad, tonight, so that they are not running back and forth, speaking at a very loud volume the entire time. They keep me busy. I'm fingers crossed that he's having an okay evening out as a solo parent tonight. So they keep me pretty busy. And then my day job is I work part-time at a library, which is just as amazing as everyone who's a reader and loves books imagines it to be. It's peaceful. I get to see all the new books a week before they come out and get them ready to put out on the floor. And I just love that job.
That is pretty, what a cool part-time job to have, just around books all the time.
Yeah.
By the way, we have some new bodies have come in. Just want to say a quick hi to Kelly and Cindy and Peggy. So thanks, guys. I'm happy that you came in. Yeah, Cindy, I got to give a shout out to Cindy. When I was doing my little book tour, that was an adventure with Nancy Nagel, and of course, sadly, Rayanne wasn't able to join us. But Cindy actually drove all the way down from Ohio to Florida, or was it South Carolina? Where was I? Anyway, it was Hilton Head, wasn't it? To see us, and that was pretty cool. But
nice,
anyway,
that's awesome.
Jo Marie says she loves libraries. Don't we all? And you know, librarians. So do you help people with research then, or are you primarily making sure?
I work in circulation and tech. So I do a lot of the backroom stuff, getting the books ready to go out on the floor, and then library cards, signing people up.
Very, very cool. Well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate libraries. I always say libraries are a really good way to meet a new author. You know, sometimes because books have gotten so expensive, and there have been, maybe with you too, but with me, there have been a few times where I have bought a book and I'm like, oh, wish I hadn't spent that $18, because that really didn't quite end up doing it for me. Yeah. And a library is a really good way to explore and get to know somebody, you know, as a writer, and find out if you can like them, right?
Yeah, it's a perfect way to get a sample. And sometimes people, when they're checking out with me, they're like, oh, I'm taking so many books. And I say, they're free. Take them, you know, take as many as you want and read the first few pages, see what you like.
Oh, that's so cute. How fun. Okay, I've got to make it. You know, I'm going to ask you this right now. I'm go off my script here, because otherwise I will forget. Jo Marie wants to know how you came up with the idea for this book.
So I actually have a background as a pastry chef. So I know I worked in kitchens and bakeries. So this is kind of just a natural storyline for me, because my story is set between 2 rival bakeries, a big corporate conglomerate bakery, chain bakery thing, and a sweet little small town bakery.
So cute. And we will get into more of that as we go along. But that's, oh my gosh, what a cool background. I mean, I love to bake, and that's my favorite thing to do, but I don't think I would make it as a bakery chef. It's pretty amazing.
It's tough. Yeah. I like it, doing it more just in my spare time than working in culinary. It's very cutthroat and tough work.
Well, you have to get up really early, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so early.
Oh, I'd be out right there. It's like, never mind, I'm going back to sleep. You guys are on your own for the donuts. That's pretty cool, though. What a great background. So we know now about her exciting background, pastry chef, and working also as a librarian. She's got kiddos. She is a busy woman, obviously. So you're going to be, especially you said you love Christmas. So what does Christmas look like around your household? Do you guys have a favorite tradition?
Yeah, so my favorite tradition started when my first child was just 5 months old. And I came up with the idea that every Christmas Eve, we would give him a new pair of pajamas,
Oh,
Christmas jammies, and a new book. So that has been really fun. And that's a tradition that we've continued for all 7 years and now added our little guy onto. I even made them some really pretty reusable boxes that say that it's a special delivery from the North Pole on Christmas Eve with their names on it, and put their pajamas and their book in there so that they have a little something to keep them going until Christmas morning and just
oh,
to, teach them that love of learning and reading.
that is so cool. Here's a, you guys are the most interesting questions tonight. Cindy wants to know, did any of your favorite holiday traditions make it into your book?
So let me think. Yeah, like going out to see a light show is in the book, and that's something I like to do. I either like to go to zoo lights or I live in the Chicago suburbs. We have a beautiful arboretum that has a special light show that runs for like 6 weeks during the Christmas time period. So yeah, that's one that made it in. And then smaller, simpler things like having a nice meal with family and friends on Christmas Day is one that I wanted to write in and have as a scene in the book.
That is so cool. What a great tradition. I'm with you. We always used to, when I was a kid, that would be a big thing. We would drive around, look at all the Christmas lights. And
Yes.
that's still something that we did that with our own kids too. It's just such a fun thing to do and see, what everybody's doing. And when I wrote Christmas on Candy Cane Lane, I was thinking where we are, there is an actual neighborhood called Candy Cane Lane. And they would, they'd have sent out there passing out, little candy canes, and you see all those sights and things. And it was really fun. And then as I was researching that book, I realized there are a lot of candy cane lanes all around the country. A lot of
Really? Oh, wow.
get into doing the decorations. So I think that's pretty cool. Always
Super
a fun
cute.
thing to see. And the kids love it, don't they? Oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah.
very cool.
They're
So
amazed by it.
I had a question. What's your favorite pastry? Debbie wants to know.
My favorite pastry is probably a Napoleon, even though it's a lot of work to make puff pastry from scratch and pastry cream from
Oh,
scratch. I just think they're beautiful, they're elegant, and they're delicious.
how long does it take to make a Napoleon?
Oh my gosh. I mean, puff pastry can take like a day to make it because you have to keep folding butter into the dough and then chilling it for a long time so that you could get those really nice crispy layers.
Wow.
And then, yeah, you got to bake that off, make the pastry cream, wait for it to cool down, and then assemble everything. So that's a day to 2 days of a project.
What if you just buy puff pastry?
Then it's so much quicker.
I mean,
That
I
would
just
be
wondered,
that would
does
be
it
my
taste
tip.
as good? I mean, I love puff pastry. I just wondered, is that a shortcut that would you notice the difference taste wise? You probably would because
I
you're
mean, I don't even know. I know a lot of commercial kitchens end up just purchasing puff pastry because it is so labor intensive. I have made it completely from scratch, but I think we're all okay to just buy the puff pastry. The
wow.
cream is the star of the show. So.
I love Debbie just said, when do you find time to write? I'm kind of wondering that too.
I
Don't
haven't made
work
puff
at the
pastry from
library.
scratch in a long time. So
Gosh, that's amazing. Oh dear. Here's another question. Boy, I'm having to ask questions. You guys are going to town on this, girl. What is your favorite Christmas dessert?
my
Ooh.
favorite Christmas dessert is my aunt's cookies. She makes a whole assortment of cookies every year and faithfully gives us a tin of cookies, and they're so good. She does like peanut butter blossoms, which are my absolute favorite. These
Fun.
walnut ball cookies with chocolate in the center, little mocha cookies. It's just, oh, they're fantastic.
Wow, that is very cool. Well, somebody else wants to know what's your favorite chocolate pastry. Boy, you guys are nosy tonight.
My favorite chocolate pastry, probably a chocolate croissant. We did those in pastry
Mm.
school too, where you make the croissant dough and then you bake a nice piece of chocolate in the center and eat it while it's still warm.
Oh boy, that sounds good. Oh my gosh, I just want to go fall off my diet right now, just
I
thinking as much.
know.
Wow.
That's how
So
I
when
felt
you
writing the book because I have to talk about cookies constantly
Oh
for
my gosh, I know that's got to be so hard. Oh my goodness. So, do you have a favorite recipe though? Okay, Napoleon's, but what do you make for the family at Christmas? What do you yourself make?
So, yeah, so for the family, we do simple stuff like cookies, especially since the kids are so small. We'll do something pretty simple like a cookie, like a chocolate bark where they can just decorate it with sprinkles. Or one that I wanted to share with everyone tonight is I like to make a baked brie as an appetizer for holidays and special occasions. And I would use the refrigerated frozen puff pastry dough for this. I would get one of the brie rounds, put it in the middle of the puff pastry sheet. I like to gather the puff pastry sheet around it and then use some baker's twine in an asterisk pattern to make it look like a pumpkin once it bakes.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's really fun. It bakes up into a little pumpkin, and I've done it multiple times, and it comes through every time, and it's very impressive looking for a small amount of work and effort.
wow. That sounds really, oh, that sounds so yummy. My goodness. That sounds good. We don't have, our big tradition is the old red velvet cake, and I
Mm.
told those guys all about that. It's like once you start something, then it's a tradition. So you better be careful what you start because it doesn't take very many times before everybody expects it.
Yes,
I
they're
do love
looking
red
for
velvet
that.
cake, I have to say. But
Yes, that's so good.
I have the super frosting. I have the like. I'm sure it's the total original frosting recipe. It's not cream cheese. It's something much more bad for your heart. I'm sure it's good.
But very
Oh,
delicious, I'm sure.
oh my gosh. Yeah, somebody, who was that? Somebody just said, how are you, with all that baking, how do you stay so slim? And somebody else said, I'm thinking chasing our two little boys around.
Oh man, yes, that's a workout.
That very much could be. Well, so are you crafty as well? Sometimes creative people have it spills over into other things.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially when I'm taking a break or winding down from writing, I like to embroider. I'm not
Ooh,
very good at it, but I enjoy it. It's kind of meditative and uses a different part of my brain than I use for writing. Or coloring. I like the coloring books that they've come out with over the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, more aimed for adults and just sit there and color and listen to an audiobook.
oh, fun. That does sound restful, actually. Very
Mhm.
cool. Well, I am not at all crafty. That gene skipped a generation in my family. My things are either writing or music, but I was going to show you guys since we were talking about crafts. This is so cool. My little sister-in-law, oopsie, make sure I get these dangling in the right
Mm.
way. I forget what this was from. Egypt. My mother-in-law collected spoons everywhere she went. This little one happens to be from Leavenworth.
Oh, wow.
This one. And anyway, but after she was gone, my little sister-in-law turned these into little ornaments for our tree.
Oh,
So we
that's
hang
sweet.
all these little guys up. They have the cute little ribbons on them, and we just hang them on the tree every year. And that's just a fun little memory use, but it's also a kind of a neat way to use something that maybe you're going, what am I going to do with these? So
Yeah.
I thought that's kind of a fun tip. If you have something sitting around the house that you can turn into an ornament or a Christmas decoration, or maybe something that you inherited, or it was mom's or grandma's, and what do we do with it now? And she made enough of us, there were so many, she made enough that all the siblings, we got several in a
Oh, that's
set.
nice.
I think that's really a fun little thing to have for your Christmas tree, a little decoration that you can put
Oh,
out every
sure.
year. So that's as crafty as I get. But when you embroider, do you do that for yourself or do you like to do gifts for
Just
people?
for myself, because like I said, it's not quite up to gift giving standards, but I do like to experiment with it and just try and take some of the pressure off myself by saying nobody has to see this if it doesn't turn out how I was imagining.
Uh, that's fun. Hey, just for yourself is good too, because you do need that downtime. Charlene is sharing. You guys can check this later. By the way, thank you, guys. I'm seeing all your comments as we go through, but I want to make sure, unless somebody asks a question, that we stay focused on Noelle. But I appreciate the comments. And Charlene is sharing a recipe she's making for Thanksgiving. Guys, she even showed the link here. So on
Mm.
Facebook, on the like page, if you want to check that out, you can, especially the gang, if you're Instagram and Facebook peeps, hop on over to the Facebook page later and you can find the link. I'll be interested. Cranberry brie bites. Oh,
Ooh, that's a
very,
fun one.
that sounds really yummy. So very, very cool. Anybody else wants to share a recipe they're making? Feel free. Probably at some point I will be asking you all what you're making for Thanksgiving. But if you want to share here where everybody's watching, that's great. And yes, and Joe Marie, embroidery is also very relaxing. It is, isn't it? It's just fun
Mhm.
to do. Do you know how to do a French knot?
I do, but it took me many, many bad misses before I could
I
figure it
never could
out.
master a French knot. I
Oh
just,
man, yeah. That one is tough.
But they're beautiful. But oh
They
gosh,
are.
they're so hard.
Yeah,
Oh,
they are.
cross stitching. Peggy says she cross stitches. I think a lot of you out there are crafty and are doing either knitting or cross stitching or diamond painting, all those cool things. So that's really, it's great to have a creative outlet. And like Noelle said, it can be relaxing and really a good thing. Let's see. Jo Marie would like to know, what time of the day is your writing time? What time of the day do you spend writing?
So because of my two little kids, my writing time is whenever I have a moment. So um, I wrote this book sometimes standing up at my counter, stirring dinner on the stove, and then running over to the counter to write. Yeah, writing with small children has really been an eye-opening experience. It changed my process a lot. There is no more sitting down in the quiet for 2 hours. I just write whenever I can. I took my laptop to the school pickup line and just worked on the book whenever I could. But ideally, I would say I would like a nice quiet evening of being able to write.
Yeah, it doesn't always work that way, does it? Sometimes you just gotta, and you can't sit around waiting for the muse
You're
because
right,
it's
exactly.
like, oh, sorry, muse, now your window of time is on and I've got to go make dinner. So yay for you for doing that in sprints. And Cindy, was it Cindy? Ah, I lost. Who asked that? I think it was Cindy. Wanted to know, are you going to try and write another Christmas book? Is that going to be a tradition for you?
So I would love to write another Christmas book. Right now, I have switched to writing something that's set in the summer for my next book. Taking a little break from the Christmas. It's been Christmas for about 18 months for me right now, having doing the editing and promoting the book. So I'll do a little break, but I could definitely see myself writing another Christmas story because it's been so much fun.
It is so much fun. It really is. And Debbie wants to know how long it took you to write this book.
So I wrote this book, the first draft, in 6 weeks, which
Wow,
was
holy moly, wow.
really, really fast for me. But normally I would say it takes me about 3 months to write a first draft.
Okay.
And then of course, after that draft, my agent read it and the editor read it and I did add things and augment the text. But yeah, the original draft was very quick.
That's pretty impressive. Oh my goodness. Who just said they're making Christmas cards? Was that Tanya? I lost you there. Yeah, Tanya says I have 53 Christmas cards that I've done.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
moly, that you've created? Wow. Oh my goodness gracious. Here's a fun thing too and I remember we've done some of this before. Debbie says, before my mom moved, she took down the crystal chandelier and removed all the crystals. I have a box full that I hang on the Christmas tree. Oh, I bet that's a lovely sparkly
Right.
thing with those chandelier crystals hanging out. How
So pretty with
cool.
the light.
Love that. Oh my gosh, that's very fun. Yep, we all do. Everybody here is ringing in that they definitely do love Christmas. We certainly do. I know it's just such a festive and wonderful time of year, and hopefully we're all going to be able to go into it and have some good family time and time with friends together and with our Christmas books. So, I mean, let's have you tell us just. Oh wait, before we get into that, I realized I have one more question I need to ask about Christmas. When does your tree go up?
My tree goes up the day after Thanksgiving.
All right, you'll be
Yeah,
ready.
it's almost time and we're getting excited for it.
Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, let's get back to the book now. Tell us just a little, you gave us a snapshot of it, but let's just explore a little bit more. How'd you come up with your characters? And we know that being a baker, that probably influenced your desire to write this particular book. But just tell us a little bit more about, and show us your book again, please, so everybody can see it if they came late.
Sure. So let's start with Lawrence over here. So he's our small town baker. And it was important to me that I made him have a lot of like shyness because that's not something that we see as much in a male main character, but I think is reflected in people's lived experience. And so I developed him to be sort of this hometown guy who would rather be baking cookies with his nana than, having a big city career life. And he's quiet, he's introspective. And then I have my girl Elena who works for the corporate bakery. She is, a career driven person and a career woman, but a lot of that comes from her family's expectations of her. And she really wants to be an artist. So that's who she is at heart. And she wants to have the time to explore that more than she has working her sort of 9 to 5 or later job.
That's the company that she works for. Oh gosh, they have this saying that has to go everywhere, and I can't remember. Was she the one that came up with the saying? It
Yeah.
always has to get put in there. It was sparkle cookies, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. It's
Yes.
hilarious. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! So she's always having to do these little sparkle treats, and oh my gosh, that is one of the fun parts I loved about the book. It was so cute.
I had a
Um,
lot of fun creating the two different bakeries. So the sweet hometown one, and then the more cold corporate chain bakery that's really just focused on getting social media likes and, churning out a product versus the
yes.
homemade treats that are happening at Lawrence's bakery.
Yeah, it's worth it just to read the snarky rotten company and the things that they make her do. Let's see, Mary Harms is saying chocolate and white chocolate dip, everything from pretzels and nuts to dried apricots. And she does,
Mm.
yeah, I do make French knots and embroider. Oh, putting me to shame. Oh my goodness. Someday, okay, Mary, I'm coming over and you're going to give me a French knot lesson because I can't do those at all. I need to get back to embroidery. I did a lot of that in my younger years, and somehow it got lost along the way. But let's see. Well, the title again. Nancy wants to know the title again.
Sure. The title is The Christmas Crush.
Yes, yes. Very. And by the way, Noelle is very kindly going to give away a free copy to some lucky winner. And aren't you all glad that you're here? Because it's one of those must be present to win. And I am going to pick because, as you all know, I mean, I love my Canadian people, and I am going to hopefully I'll be able to try and do something special for you guys here too in the new year. But it gets so expensive, and so I'm going to make this U.S. only for this particular giveaway. So because she's a new author, and I know I would like to save her just a few pennies. She hasn't exactly made her fortune yet. So I see Sonia's arrived. Hi. Oh, my nose itches. Good grief. Oh, and Kelly would love to try it. Kelly, whose tree is already up. Well, you know what? Mine's up too because we're going to be traveling and gone from Thanksgiving through the first week in December, and there is just no time. So we put up the tree, and it's probably doesn't look the best as it's ever looked, but I think this tree is going to go bye-bye in the new year. Some of the lights aren't working. It's like, oh, good grief. Anyway, but I digress. So we are going to do that. So I'm seeing some that will be great and love it, kind of its comments. And I will go back. We'll just do the random pick a name, and we will announce that later this evening so that I can get that information to Noelle so that she can get a book off to some lucky winner. But again, if you don't happen to be a winner, I hope that if you're looking for a good Christmas book, you're going to go looking and see if you can find her book. Noelle, where are you on social media? Tell us where people can find
Yeah, so I'm most active on Instagram at BN Writes and Reads.
Okay, you guys got that, hopefully. And are you on Facebook also?
No, I'm not on Facebook.
Okay, so just on Insta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So that if you guys want to go looking for her and follow her on Instagram, I'm sure she would appreciate that. That would be very cool. And
Yeah.
so, and do you have a website?
I do. So noelledouglas.com.
Okay, very good. You guys all got that, hopefully. So anyway, so if you want to find out more, you can find out that when you go to those different places that she mentioned. And you are, even though there's nothing in the nothing cemented yet, but I think you're still busily writing, right? You're going to be writing your way into the new year.
Yes, absolutely. I've been writing a lot since I've finished this book. I've been working on my next book.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Debbie just said you should make a Facebook account. Yeah, just for us. There's so much to do on social media. It's very hard to
I
keep
know. It's been a little daunting, but
it really is. But we have a great gang here. These guys are all just fabulous, and they always show up for events, and I appreciate that, guys. And I need to remind you, we were speaking earlier of recipes. Don't forget, I did put a link for that e-cookbook that I did with several authors that was featuring recipes from our different books. And so if you guys are wanting a freebie on that, all you got to do is go find that post and click on the little, I think on the picture. Anyway, if you click on something, it'll take you to the landing page where you can get a copy of that book. So anyway, so there's that. And I'm sure that Noelle will be cooking up many cool things for the holidays and in the future. And I think we should all invite ourselves over for Napoleon's, don't you?
yeah, it's just
Right
give me a
over.
few days to prep.
Pretty cool. That's very exciting. Well, does anybody have any other questions for Noelle while we still have her with us? because I don't want anybody to not have a chance to ask a question. You guys have been, I've been impressed with how many questions you've had, all kinds of questions that were thrown at the new writer here, getting her in the deep end of the pool. But you're just doing, I'm excited for you and excited for this book because it really, really is cute. So
Oh, thank you, Sheila. Thank you.
I am still looking here. Do I see any other questions coming in? Look, guys, give you guys one last chance to ask your questions. I don't see anything, so you might actually be off the hook. So again, it's The Christmas Crush by
Yes.
Noelle Douglas, and you can find that on Amazon and probably can any of the other stores that are on
Yeah,
there?
Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Many indie bookstores have it, so you might want to ask if you have a favorite independent bookstore, if they have it or can order it for you. But yeah, it's pretty widely available.
Good, very cool. Two more questions came in at the last minute, so we're going to hold you over a little longer. Debbie wants to, oh, how did we meet? Oh, that's right. I did mention that earlier. Was it your agent who reached out? I think it was your
Yes,
agent.
yeah. So my agent reached out because my agent and your agent work together.
Our buddies, yeah,
Mhm.
and said, "Have I got a book for you?" And she was right, she did.
Yeah.
And so I got to read the book early on to give it a little author blurb. So that's how we met online. But this is our first time chatting like face to face, and
Mhm.
so this has been really special to get a chance to chat with you a little bit, and get to know you. Now I thought I saw another question coming in. Da, 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 da. Oh, Lori, I don't know. Lori messaged me offline on the cookbook thing. That should have been able to just click. I clicked on it. It took me right to the landing page, and then you just do the, give me the copy thing. So I don't know what happened there. Somebody else had another question. If I could do it, where did you learn to write? Oh my goodness, Jory, you are like, you should be an interviewer. You're coming up with some really good questions. Do
These
you
are
want to
great.
try to answer that?
Yeah, sure. So these are great questions. I don't have formal training in writing. I loved to read ever since I was really small and I wanted to write novels. I would write them as like a middle schooler and a teen. And then once it was something that I wanted to do for publication, I had to kind of learn the hard way by presenting my work and getting rejections and trying to see, what was and wasn't working in a story. I belong to the Chicago North Romance Writers group. That's a critiquing group where we can read an excerpt of our story and get some feedback from published authors and established authors. That's basically how I did it, reading books about novel writing.
Very cool. And sometimes that's the best way to learn. You just jump in and start doing it. So
Mhm.
I think that's pretty exciting. Debbie Butts wants to know, would you ever write with another writer? Wow,
You
that's
know,
hard.
I've never done that. And I'm always impressed by people who do because I can't imagine, like, I don't know if anyone has read a Christina Lauren book, but they always write their
Oh,
book together to two authors working, and they say they go like back and forth line by line so that they can't even remember who wrote what at the end of the draft, which is wild to me. I guess I would try it, but I just don't know how it would work.
I don't know how they do it. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Songwriting is a different animal with working with somebody together, but when you're writing a whole big manuscript, I think
Yeah.
that would be awfully, awfully hard to do.
Yeah.
Golly, just not easy. But you know what? Who knows what the future holds? You
Yeah.
just might, you never
I would
know.
try it, that's for sure.
Oh, wow. Very, very cool. Well, gosh, it's been really great to have a chance to chat with you, Noelle. I'm going to let you go. And guys, we'll go kind of any, meeny, miny, mo through the comments. We'll pick a winner and I'll post that in just a little bit. And then we'll let Noelle know what's going on. But I want to thank you all, as always, for showing up for these things. Oh my gosh, I have all kinds of fun stuff. I think some of you know I'm doing something with Nancy Nagel and Karen Shaler this coming Tuesday. I can't remember where it is on the calendar, but I think I mentioned it to you. I've got a really fun chat scheduled, hopefully, with my buddy who is doing some homemade Christmas ornaments. There's us all kind of, gosh, a New Year. Oh, we are booked solid with fun guests. So I hope that you're all going to keep hanging out, hanging with us. Meanwhile, though, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And this week we'll all start getting ready for Thanksgiving. And meanwhile, happy everything, everybody. And we will be talking soon. Thank you so much, Noelle, for taking time to join us.
Well, thank you for having me, and it was so fun to meet you and have our chat and hear everyone's great questions.
Very, very cool. So, all right, guys, we'll be seeing you soon, hopefully.